Nothing. Nothing but the empty daycare, and no Eclipse. Moon tapped his fingers on the desktop. He had been waiting for about an hour for Eclipse to report in, but there had been no sign of him. He had hoped he wouldn't have to do this. With a resigned sigh, he gave Eclipse a call. Several rings later, Moon was left with no response. And of course he doesn't even have the decency to set up a voicemail. Moon was left with no other choice but to go look for Eclipse. Moon really hoped to find Eclipse in the obvious place. Upon reaching the lower level of the West Arcade, he looked up to see Eclipse. He seemed to have just reached the top of the staircase. "Hey, Eclipse!" Eclipse didn't even flinch. He just kept walking forward. "Eclipse! I know you can hear me up there!" Eclipse was now out of Moon's sight. With a groan of exasperation, Moon climbed the stairs to catch up to Eclipse. He reached the top just in time to see Eclipse making his way to the karaoke rooms. Moon's motor ran at the speed of light as he realized what might be about to happen. He was about to sprint to the karaoke room that now housed Ruin, but then he heard something that left him stunned. A warm greeting. "Ah, Eclipse! Hello!" The voice was soft, but cheerful. A pause followed. "Oh, come on, we've worked on this. Just give a simple hello back to me." Hello. Moon had to be hearing things. There was no way that Ruin and Eclipse were about to just have a pleasant conversation. Curious and baffled, he stepped closer. He walked until he was just outside the doorway to the room, then stood to the side to listen in. "So how has your day been? Remember, I want you to be honest about it." This is so stupid. Now, that's no way to improve. You might think this is all pointless right now, but just having polite conversation is an excellent first step in becoming more sociable. Moon couldn't believe what he was hearing. Ruin was attempting to coach Eclipse in socializing. Fine. You want to know about my day? It was just nothing. No matter where I search, I come up with nothing. Dead ends, no clues, no new leads, nothing. That was good. I am very sorry that nothing's turned up. I'd like to say you'll find something eventually, but based on what you've told me, I'm really not sure where else you could look. I'm just so tired. I'm tired of this search. I'm tired of not knowing who brought me back. I'm tired of everything. A long silence followed this. Moon now felt awful for eavesdropping on this obviously candid conversation. It wasn't the best possible time to make his presence known to the two inside the karaoke room, but it also felt wrong to just keep listening or walk away. So, Moon stepped out into view from the doorway. The two animatronics inside turned upon seeing movement in front of the doorway. Ruin, though he sounded startled, greeted Moon cheerfully. "Oh, Moon! Hello!" Hi. Moon waved awkwardly. Ruin glanced at Eclipse and gave him a soft nudge to the arm. Hello, Moon. Moon had never felt a greater discomfort in his life than right now. Hi, Eclipse. Sorry to interrupt. Moon focused his gaze on Eclipse. I came looking for you because you hadn't given your report yet, but I kind of overheard it just now. Ruin leaned forward slightly. "Oh, Moon, I'm sorry. I called him over here. I didn't know you were expecting him." It's fine. While we're both here, are you all good? Have you had any more gaps in your memory recently? Well, thank you for your concern, but no, I haven't noticed anything strange or anything missing. I promise, if anything out of the ordinary happens, I'll go straight to you. Alright, good. Moon's hands fidgeted. Again, sorry for listening in. I'll just leave you two to your talk. He tentatively turns to walk away. Goodbye, Moon, Ruin called out. Moon raised a hand in a small wave as he kept walking. Bye. As Moon left the vicinity of the West Arcade, all he could think about was how strange that entire interaction had been. When did Eclipse and Ruin start talking at all? Why did Eclipse agree to be coached in social skills? The entire thing left Moon's head spinning. Still, he supposed there was nothing wrong with it. If Ruin really thought he could help Eclipse, he might as well try. Several minutes had passed since Moon left. Ruin wrapped an arm around Eclipse. He chuckled and leaned in closer to Eclipse. I believe the coast is clear. You're free to express everything you're feeling. With an almost too loud moan, Eclipse instantly crumbled beneath the intense waves running through him. He let his body go more limp as Ruin drew him into an embrace. Ruin laughed softly as he held Eclipse close. He then began stroking Eclipse's faceplate. You did excellently, my dear. I don't think your conscious self could have done it better. He let Eclipse recover from the shockwave, then lightly gripped the bottom edge of Eclipse's faceplate to look him in the eyes. You followed my instructions perfectly. Now, if we are ever seen together in any way, Moon won't think a thing about it. Ruin paused as something occurred to him. Then, he couldn't help but burst into a howl of laughter, thinking about the one thing that could have wrecked the entire plan. My dear, your eyes! He was so caught up in our ruse he didn't even notice your pupils! His laughter continued for a while longer. All the while, Eclipse simply stared ahead, his head resting on Ruin's hand. As Ruin slowly calmed himself, he moved his hand in a soft scratching motion underneath Eclipse's faceplate. Thankfully, your stellar acting sold Moon on our conversation. I'm going to make sure you're rewarded handsomely for the brilliant performance. Eclipse could barely process Ruin's words. His entire mind was focused on savoring every touch and taking in Ruin's voice. The protocol took care of the rest. Ruin gently guided Eclipse upward as he stood from the couch. Come now, Eclipse. Let's celebrate this moment somewhere more private. Walk with me. Eclipse silently followed Ruin out of the karaoke room and into the very back of the West Arcade back room.